Do you know God? How deep do you know Him? What understanding do you have about His works? Do you believe He can do all things? Do you have confidence in His word? Have you seen His works and deed in your life? Are you in lack of anything? Are you struggling with something? Have you tabled that lack to Him so that He can provide, or you don't think He can do it? Have you prayed about what you are struggling with to Him for intervention, or you don't believe He can intervene in that condition? Know this and believe it, because it is the truth. God has made everything possible, but you have to believe. Your belief system would determine what you would get. What you see yourself as is what you would become, because that is what you believe. If you see yourself as a failure and you believe you can't achieve or make any meaningful progress in life, you would not achieve anything in life. You would fail in all you attempt to do. But on the other hand, if you see yourself as a success, handling things, making things work, that would indirectly affect your system, and the result would be you making progress in all you choose to do, because you have already seen yourself successful and you believed it. What you don't believe can't work for you. What you don't have faith in won't produce anything for you. It is only through belief that you can get things done for you. If you don't believe in a system, there is nothing the system would do or provide that you would be pleased with. God has made everything possible for us. He has provided everything for our good. It only depends on your belief. When you believe the word He says, you would see delivery and result of all you ask and think of. But when you don't believe, when you don't have faith in Him, you can get nothing. Mark 9 verse 23. Jesus said to him, "You say to me, if you can, all things are possible for the one who believes and trusts in me." 90% of the miracles, healing, and deliverance done by Jesus was based on belief. The people believed that He could heal and deliver them, and they got their results because of their belief. Let us look at some of those miracles that were based on belief. Matthew 9 verse 20 through 22. Then a woman who had suffered from a hemorrhage for 12 years came up behind Him and touched the tassel fringe of His outer robe. For she had been saying to herself, "If I only touch His outer robe, I will be healed." But Jesus, turning and seeing her, said, "Take courage, daughter. Your personal trust and confident faith in me has made you well." And at once the woman was completely healed. Mark 10 verse 46 through 52. Then they came to Jericho, and as He was leaving Jericho with His disciples and a large crowd, a blind beggar, Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, was sitting beside the road, as was his custom. When Bartimaeus heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout and say, "Jesus, Son of David, Messiah, have mercy on me." Many sternly rebuked him, telling him to keep still and be quiet. But he kept on shouting out all the more, "Son of David, Messiah, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man, telling him, "Take courage, get up, he is calling for you." Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped up and came to Jesus, and Jesus said, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man said to him, "Rabboni, my master, let me regain my sight." Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith and confident trust in my power has made you well. Immediately he regained his sight and began following Jesus on the road. All the examples above were based on the belief system. They didn't get what they wanted through unbelief. They were confident that Jesus would heal them and that their situation would turn around. Imagine the woman with the issue of blood for years. Despite the problem, she believed by touching the clothes of Jesus, she would be healed, and she was healed. Everything is possible only if you would believe it. You might not get into what God has prepared for you if you don't believe it. You would remain below what God has prepared and programmed for you if you don't believe in Him. Such was the case of Gideon. He has been commissioned by God as a delivery to rescue the people of Israel. But he saw himself as small and unable to do anything. It was when his belief changed that he came into that dimension. Having faith in God brings you into the reality of things He has for you. You can't see it or have it without faith. It was by faith that Abraham kept leaving his father's house to where God promised to show him. It was through faith that he also received the promised son. When you believe, you alter the impossible. With God, all things are possible. It may look impossible for man, it may look unrealistic, and you only need to believe it, and you would have it. Luke 1 verse 37. For with God nothing is or ever shall be impossible. Mark 10 verse 27. Looking at them, Jesus said, with people, as far as it depends on them, it is impossible. But not with God, for all things are possible with God. James 1 verse 6 through 8. But he must ask for wisdom and faith, without doubting God's willingness to help. For the one who doubts is like a billowing surge of the sea that is blown about and tossed by the wind. For such a person ought not to think or expect that he will receive anything at all from the Lord. Being a double-minded man, unstable and restless in all his ways, in everything he thinks, feels, or decides. For everything you want and desire from God, believe He would release to you. One way to express your belief is by constantly praying about it. When you pray, you are showing that you can't have it from anybody or any system. It is only Him that can give it to you. You have to believe that He can hear you and would grant your request. Praying is the way. Keep praying about that challenge, issue, or trouble. Don't doubt His capacity and power. It may tarry, but won't remain forever. Don't lose your faith and belief in His working power. You would soon receive it, because God has made it possible for you. You would attain that height if you believe. You would be selected if you believe. Keep holding to Him. Keep tabling it to Him in prayers, and you would soon have it.